Join the Men for Men's Talk, Mondays at 7 p.m., starting April 1st on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Welcome back, Marcus McAllister, Lamont Jackson, Lenard Johnson, Robert Dennis, and Brian Haysbert. We're back, Men Talk. Again, I want to push this one more time. The Legacy Conference for Men, June 6th through June 8th. Register today. Register now at bit.ly/LegacyCon24. $30, 3 days of learning, 3 days of healing, 3 days of prosperity in your life. All right, so this segment we're going to talk about, Elder Brian brought this up, and he wants to talk about how to lead when you're not leading. And did I say that correct?
Close enough.
Okay, all right. Tell me.
How to lead when you have not been leading.
When you have not been leading. So, since you brought this topic up, we want you to
I'm sure.
elaborate and start on it. So,
I think a lot of times what we hear is, men, be leaders of your home. Run your home. You know, they're supposed to submit to you. All this, that, and other thing. But I think a lot of men, going back to what we're saying, that why won't some men come clean, or they, go to the man cave? Because they say, wait a minute. I haven't been reading. How do I start this? Because if I do what somebody's telling me a meeting without wisdom and understanding, how do I get in there and start leading when I haven't been leading? How do I bring back restoration to my house? Now, this could come from any. Your background might be you're unsaved, and now you're saved, okay? And you just have not been exposed to that. There are different levels of masculinity. A lot of times we picture the perfect picture that, hey, you're going to lead, they're going to, submit and go on and so forth. But there's some times when you haven't been leading, or there's the flex of maybe your significant other exposing their masculine side. Where if you're not going to provide direction, I'm going to provide direction. So one of the things I realize, this is not something talked about. We always talk about men this, masculinity that. And I think we also got a bad name. I think that's why the feminist movement has gained so much steam, because it was a man's world. And then so many other dynamics that could be happening with that. But one reason I wanted to bring this up is that how, or take advantage of the wisdom you guys had in leading your homes and seeing others. How do you begin this process of leading your home in the direction of casting vision, bringing order, if you have not been doing that?
One of the scriptures in the Bible, I'm not really great at always saying exact book and verse, but not be moved by every wind and doctrine that blows your way. I can speak personally saying that in my second marriage, I now understand things a lot better than I did in my first marriage. But who was a model that I was to follow when it comes to leading? It's a big piece there. You know what I mean? Like, who was the model? Some people grew up in households where you had two-parent households, but a lot of people did not. So your image or imagery of what you're going to sit there and lead when you get into your household, not talking about leading other places, I'm talking about as far as the household, man in the household is, a man and a woman who didn't, if a husband and wife did not grow up in a two-family setting, the woman grows up with a concept and idea what she thought the husband should be like. The man grows up with a concept and idea what he thought the man should be like as well. You got two people coming from Fantasy Island.
Oh, you man,
looking for the plane. But the whole point of the matter is that when you get to that point, you say, how do I lead if I've never been leading? You got to have a model.
You gotta have a vision.
You got to have a model, got to have a vision, got to have somewhat of an understanding of what you think as a man, a leader is. And I like Lamont's thing in the last segment when he started writing down the affirmations of what I am. Because a man who knows who he is can start to lead from there.
Talk to us a little bit, Lamont, about casting vision.
Okay. I want to kind of do a
Rest of the show will be done by Lamont.
communication, even to yourself, I believe is good. When you're looking to lead a household, you're going to have to be able to communicate your vision, communicate your plans, write them down, pray over them, seek God for guidance, seek God for ideas. We never talk about that. Seek God for ideas, ask God to give you or reconsider your dreams that you had when you were a child, when you were younger. Bring those things to the forefront. Be able to communicate, because nobody's going to follow you based on what's in your head. You have to be able to communicate those things well and often. The reason I believe in writing things down and telling myself who I am consistently, because it's adding on every day, is because I have to believe it first. Consistency comes into play every single day. What is your habit? If the habits are no good consistently, then how do you grow from bad habits? So when you want a woman or a family to follow you, what is your plan of consistency that they can follow behind?
Well, talk to us a little bit more about that. Anybody who wants to grab this, how do you develop that plan, that vision? I mean, kind of walk it out, because a lot of times we talking, well, you got to
Throw one thing in there.
go right
Exposure.
there. Exposure. Talk to us about that.
You have to get out and be in the place where you are exposed to more. You see more. You know what's available for your family. Before my son was born, I knew I wanted to attend everything that he did. So I structured my life that way. I knew I wanted him to go to college, so I started to plan for that when he was born. So when he went to college, there was no struggle. So everything that I do, I look 10 years ahead and I start to plan for it now. I just planned for my grandchildren's children while we were sitting here when we just started talking about it. I said I need to open up an account in my name, LLC, and that's for them. So you start to develop that plan based on what you hear. This has blessed me because I just came up with something new. Now I have to be diligent and consistent at doing it. So at every level, you have an opportunity to be better, consistent, be exposed to more, and you follow that plan, and then your family jumps on.
Okay, now that sounds real simple, but having run organizations, the biggest obstacle to leading is people changing or change in people. You know that when you want to change direction, resistance to change, because not everybody's going, most people going to wait and see. We need to change, baby. You first.
No
the
problem, but the end result doesn't change. When I plan for things, I may plan on putting $100 a month in there, but sometimes it may be $50, but I didn't change the plan.
But we're talking about other
consistency of
people.
it.
When you're leading other people. Okay, personal leadership is one. We're talking about change in the household, change in the organization. How do you minister to others to get that change, for them to come along? Okay, because most people, there's some people will come along just because they think it's a good idea, and stop. And then you wonder, okay, I thought we had all this rah, rah, rah going forward when I cast the vision. but now I got some stoppage. I got some friction.
So you're dealing with people, right? And when you're dealing with people, sometimes they feel like a nut, sometimes they don't. If you're talking about a family, if you're talking about an organizations, the majority of the people are in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Your positive people are going to be on the right, your negative is going to be on the left. But the majority is in the middle, just waiting to see who's going to win.
Exactly.
Right?
Good point. Good
They
point.
just waiting to see who's going to win. They're going to stay right there in the middle. Whatever side is winning, if the negative is winning, they're going to get on the bandwagon of the negative. Mm-hmm. If the positive side is winning, they're going to coast over there. But it goes back to some of the principles that Lamont was talking about understanding your values, being consistent. But I personally believe if you want to effectively lead, you first have to know how to follow. So who is it that you're following? What is it that you're following before you can effectively lead? Just saying that I'm a leader means nothing.
I think also a leader has to learn to adapt, improvise, and overcome.
Mm-hmm.
A leader has to learn to adapt, improvise, and overcome. In the household, he has to adapt to how does my wife and children react to certain things. In the organization, what's the policies and procedures they're putting in place? Improvise. I might have some people who are in the middle who I have to work around certain ways to get them to do something, motivate or whatever like that. And then I have others who are, Debbie Doubters. You know what I mean? How do I get those? So to adapt and improvise. And now I got to figure out as a leader the way to overcome. I think the people ask a question, are leaders born or are leaders made?
So here's a model I kind of manage with. Coach, teach, train, model, hold accountable. Coach, teach, train, model, and then you have to care enough to correct. You have to care enough to hold accountable, because that's what gets the people that's just in the middle, when they know you really, really care about them, and you care about them enough to tell them when they're wrong, but yet give them a hug after you do it. You care enough to let them know, I'm not going to let your behavior continue to be that way. Why? Because I love you and I see something greater in you. Now you're going to begin to get them on the right? And that's just a small, there's way more to it, but you have to invest in people. And I've just used that coach, teach, train, model. What do they see in us? It's not about what you say when it means being a leader. A leader is what they see you do, how they see you act. Words can be one thing, but it's your actions that come behind it.
I think in reference to the home, in reference to leading, the biggest thing to me is that you have to first communicate.
Mm-hmm.
You can't lead without communication. I know you guys said that before. Okay? And you have to meet. You have to get the person involved. You have to find out what that person likes, what that person's ideas are. See if it works with the idea that you have. Okay? That person, if you're leading, regardless of the fact if you're leading or not, the subordinates or the group of people that you're with or your family, they have to feel that they're involved in the mission and in the vision.
There you go.
They have to. If not,
To buy in.
yeah. If not, it's not going to work.
There you go.
Yes, you are the leader. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm the visionary of my family. I dream, I'm the visionary of my family. Okay? I can come up with something and do it. But my wife is the stable one. So who handles the finances? The stable one. I knew that she's best at it than I am. So, baby, handle it. I'm aware of what's going on. She's going to keep me abreast. I know. I'm bringing in the money. I know what's going on. All right? But she handles it, and it makes her feel good because she knows what's going on with the money, how much money we have. Makes her feel better because women need that. So security. So that's the security there. But you have to be on the same page. Will it happen right away? I can't attest to you that it does, but we worked at it. Teamwork. Everybody always say this slogan, teamwork makes the dream work. Well, get to working. Because all the communication, all the plans, all that means nothing if you do not put it to action. So then, after you communicate, get everybody involved, everybody has a stake in it, so everybody's going to work together towards that goal. When you can do that, you leading. That's my take on it. And that's what I saw, and I'm fortunate. My grandparents, both sets, were married for over 45 and a half years. My parents, before my mother passed, was married for over 45 and a half years. I've seen. So, my brother is now married, I believe, for now 34 years. I've been married going on 23 years. So, I had the example in front of me all the time. So, I can't tell you how does it feel when you don't have the example. But I can tell you how it is when you do have that example. But it also puts I would say, pressure on you because you had that example. So to the ones that didn't have the example will say, well, Marcus, you don't have an excuse. Okay, you had your perfect example on what it is to see a man, to see men lead and how they ran the household and where your mother stood and how they completed and how they raised and put 5 children in college and all 5 graduate. So that's my model, and that's what I say. You have to communicate. You have to communicate, and you have to work together and put it into action, and everybody has to be on board with whatever vision that you have for your family.
I would say lead with grace.
Yes.
I can have the best plan in the world and communicate it wrong.
Yeah,
And lead with
absolutely,
too much
absolutely.
strength, and now nobody buys in.
Yeah.
But I can gracefully include everyone in the plan, and everybody feels important, even if I don't. And I came up with the whole plan. And they be able to carry out that plan great. And I'm not just saying this just because we're here in this church, but this church is like a cheat code for success. It comes right across the pulpit. Leadership, financial matters, love, it's right there. You can develop your plan right here and take your plan home, sit down, have everybody included, make everybody feel amazing about it, but it can come right from your place of worship. And it's said across the pulpit a lot. It does matter what church you go to. It really does. You know,
Who's feeding your spirit?
what's that? I'm sorry?
Who's feeding your spirit?
And your belief. Everybody believes in God, right? But their interpretation of what they hear and regurgitate could be different based on where you go. And we all love God, yes, but your understanding of what the word says could be totally different. When you speak lack, you speak poverty, you speak defeat and those things, you hear that enough? I had to tell I have a tenant. I had to tell her. I called her one day because she's supposed to meet me, and her phone clicked on, and I heard the whole church service. I sat there and listened to it. The next time I saw her, I said, you need to find a new church. I sure did. I said, I see why you speak the way that you do.
Yeah.
Everything that she says out of her mouth, I hope that God she's not watching, but it's negative. And I had to tell her, I said, now I understand why you speak that way. She said, no, I don't. I went now, let her listen to it. You hear that? Because I had it all on my phone. I said, you hear that? She said, oh, I never paid attention to that. I say, everything that he's saying, everything he's saying is negative. And it brought about fear. So everything she told me, I think the building's going to burn down. I think this. I think that. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not because I'm here, number one. You know, but I think a lot of it, when people hear what they put back out even to their family, sometimes doesn't breed the outcome that they want.
I think that one of the things that occurred to me while listening to you, if we could kind of speak to how do you use core values in your house? What's a core value? Something that whatever I do, it lines up with. Okay? For us, is God first. Okay? Whatever it is, our core value is we believe God, okay? We believe that Jesus Christ is out, died on the cross, was raised from the dead, okay?
You got to go deeper than that.
Yeah, but I want you guys, okay? Well, no, there's no question about it, but what are some of your core values that you find you're leading your families with and or leading your organizations that you lead with?
Truth.
Well, that would go along
Truth.
with the integrity, but love. I strive very hard to model love, grace, and forgiveness because that's what I've received. Am I perfect? No. My heart is not what it used to be when I didn't care about those things because I didn't care about me. But I care about it now, and now those are core values for me. Love being number one.
Come on. Core values.
You just said it. It's that my brother says it all the time. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. They could care less. And the reason he gets I look up to him for that. He shows everybody kindness and love. Now me, I'm a work in progress. I'm gonna have to, I just, yeah. But he's gonna give you that grace up front, but that's what this is all about. Being in a setting where you feel the love and appreciation. In this particular case, from men, we grow from it. We trust. We feel safe, and now we open up, and then we grow, and we expand, and we continue to expand. And in 3 days, the 3 days of this conference, we can expand to, a 10-year vision just in being next to a neighbor beside you that's praying for you. Because you can look at people and tell what they're going through, but you can also look at them and tell where they're going. You can encourage them to get there. As you mentioned to your son, you're not crazy. Well, you can conquer anything. Okay, what you've been through, that's great. All of that's great. That puts you here. Now your mentality can take you there. You ain't crazy. Whoever told you that's wrong.
I don't know. I always tell people I'm a little crazy. I am, but is the right word.
You have to be.
Yeah. I always
degree.
tell you have to a degree.
You have to be.
You have to be. Yeah. When you find the person who says they're not crazy, they're crazy. If someone tell you I ain't crazy, I'm the sanest one in here, you move away from that person and you pray for them from a distance, because if they, yeah. But core values, I can piggyback on Leonard on the core values. But one thing, and my wife will contest to this, is that I always say, and my word is my bond. Whatever I say, I mean. Whatever I mean, I say. And there's sometimes that the delivery might not be the best. But if I tell you that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I tell her that I'm going to take out the trash, I'm going to take out the trash, because that's my word. That's a value. Because God's word is his bond. Think about it. In the beginning was a word. right? And God is word.
Yes.
So whatever he says is his bond. And if we're built like him, what we say is of value. So we have to be careful on what we say, what we send out there. And if we say something, we need to follow up with it, because people hear what you say and then look at your actions. Well, he said he's going to do this. Your wife, he said he's going to do this. I'm still waiting. Now, can I count on him? Because he said he was going to do that and he hasn't done it yet. I can't count on him. So I want to count on a leader, going back to what we said. A leader should be accountable, and you should be able to count on the leader. But if you're saying something, you're not doing what you're saying, you're not going to be a great leader. You can't be counted on. And then the other core values, they're going to be suspect, because they're going to look at it, and then they're going to look at your actions. Okay, I think we're about done. I think we got that cue, right? And when Brother Jamal walks in the middle, that's letting us know we got 2 minutes, and that was a minute and 30 seconds ago. So we're going to end this Men Talk, and I appreciate you, brothers. I love you guys. The next time we come up, we're going to talk. We can just continue with this, because these subjects, and they all come together with what we're going to do at the conference.
Absolutely.
And what you're going to receive at the conference.
Absolutely.
June 6th through June 8th. 3 days. Okay? Register online. Only $30. It's going to change your life, men. I'm going to tell you, it's going to change your life. So, 10 seconds each. Just say what you have to say.
Men's Legacy Conference. Beat us there, don't meet us there.
If you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. See you at the conference.
Build on what you don't know by building what you know.
Start today. Start leading your family, showing compassion, showing consistency. Have bold visions. Incorporate the rest of them. Make sure that everybody feels a part of it.
Legacy. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Conferences for men. It's only $30. You get 3 days. You get a Thursday night, Friday night, and all day Saturday. You can register at bit.ly/LegacyCon24. You can also go on Sons of Consecration on the IG page. You can register there. And we want some vendors that have male products, men products. We want our future to be better. We need our men to build an inheritance for their children's children. Not their children, their grandchildren. So when your children see you building, then they can start building for their grandchildren, and then grandchildren, and then grandchildren.